Okay, today I'm going to explain you how do you answer the exercises from your book. Now, first of all, you need to open your book on page 21 and page 22. In this video, we're going to solve from the student's book or your color part exercise 10.2, 10.3 and 10.4. So now let's get started, and we're going to start with the exercise number 20.2. Now it says read the text again and complete the sentences using the appropriate words from the box. Now we have different words like smaller, weaker, worse, passive, slower and shorter. Now next to we have a small text about different animals. Now we have to read the text, and then when we complete the reading we have to complete the exercises that are next to. So we have to start reading. It says exercise 10.1. Animals have different characteristics depending on the environment they live in. For example, polar bears and elephants are stronger than cheetahs, but cheetahs are faster than zebras or gazelles because they need certain skills to survive. And there are many other like crocodiles and are more dangerous than rabbits. For example, swordfish are faster than dolphins, monkeys are more acrobatic than otters, and birds are more spectacular than insects. Certain reptiles, like snakes, are more aggressive than some felines like lions or tigers, but never smarter and faster than mammals. Blue whales are larger than sharks, while giraffes are taller than elephants. Dogs are nicer pets than cats, and insects are smaller than rodents. In general, every kind of animal has many qualities that they need to survive in a wilder and at the same time a more interesting world. Okay, so we have read a text and we come back to exercise 10.2. We have to complete the right word for each answer. For example, we have cheetahs are faster than zebras, so zebras are than cheetahs. Number 2, elephants are stronger than cheetahs. Cheetahs are than elephants. Snakes are more aggressive than rabbits. Rabbits are more than snakes. Giraffes are taller than gazelles, so gazelles are than giraffes. Dogs are nicer as pets than snakes, and snakes are than dogs as and pets. And finally, 6, whales are larger than sharks, so sharks are than whales. Now, at the bottom of the page, we have 3 different tables, and the first one says about comparatives with short adjectives. They are with one syllable. We have to add er plus than and your second subject or object. For example, we have a horse is faster than a hare. Now we can also have irregular adjectives like good, in comparatives better, bad, it's worse, little, less, many or much more, far, from distance, farther, or far for extent, further. And finally, there are other adjectives. They are long adjectives and they have another structure. We have the subject object plus the word more than your subject. For example, we have a car is more expensive is the adjective than a bicycle. Okay, now into the next page, on page 22 we have exercise 10.3, and it says make comparisons with the adjectives given inside the brackets of the sentence. Follow the example. Example: my brother's house is expensive than my house. We have my brother's house is more expensive than my brother. In this case, we are comparing my brother's house and my house, and we have the adjective expensive. Expensive is long adjective, that's why we use more. Now look at these other examples. We have my uncle is serious than my aunt. We have to decide, is it serious short, seriouser, or long, more serious than. Number 2, that car is bad than this one. We can say that car is maybe badder, maybe more bad, or maybe worse than. You have to write what is the correct word for bad in comparative. Now number 3, a gold ring is valuable than a silver ring. So we have a gold ring is valuabler, more valuable than a silver ring. 4, public relation office is busy than this office. Public relation office is more busy or busier than this office. And finally, exercise 5, my English teacher is polite than my math teacher. So we have the sentence, my English teacher is more polite or is politer than my math teacher. You have to select what would be the right option. And finally, on the same page, but on exercise 10.4, we have from the box of the adjectives, choose one for every line that describes Beta, Michael's house, John's house, and Mary's house, according to the images. Now, at the top of the page, we have Michael's house, John's house, Mary's house, and then when you have looked them, we have to select what would be the right adjective. We can have expensive, taller, smaller, more, or less, and you have to complete these 5 sentences. Okay, now on your workbook on page 73 and 74, we have to complete exercise 10.2. It says choose with information from the text, write on every line of number comparative that corresponds to the sentence. Okay, for example, we have James is maybe comfortable, older, cheaper, beautiful, farther, faster, taller, thinner, smarter, or younger. You have to choose what is the correct sentence. Number 2, James' sister is than him. James ran than any other. He is than their classmates. James is than his father. James' trip by plane is more than he travels by train. Not travel, travels. A trip by train is than by plane. A school in Utah is than in Iowa. University in Iowa is more than the one in Texas, and James is than her sister. You have to read them and you have to choose what would be the right answer, but pay attention. Some examples can have multiple correct answers. There isn't only one answer for each question. Okay, now on exercise 10.3, it says choose the right options to complete each sentence. Follow the example. We have example: a bicycle is than a motorcycle, faster, more big, cheaper. Okay, in this case is cheaper. Faster, it can be possible. More big is not correct. What is the correct? cheaper. Now you have to complete this 1, 2, or 3. You have to decide what would be the right adjective. Now, and the next page, on page 74, we have exercise 10.5. It says write the appropriate comparative form of the adjective that are under the line on each sentence. Follow the example. We have example: this house is expensive than the one. In this case, expensive is long, more expensive. And the other car is much bad than this one. In this case, bad in comparative, worse. Now you have to complete the following sentences with the right form. For example, I'm going to help you with the first 3 and you have to complete the rest. For example, it says 1. Charles is always. Serious is a long adjective, so we have Charles is always more serious than Tom. Charles is always more serious than Tom. Number 2. The preparation for a certification course in English is hard, a regular course. Hard is 1 syllable. That's why we use short adjective. So we have to write English is harder than a regular course. English is harder than a regular course. And finally, 3. Her bracelet is valuable mine. Valuable, it's a long adjective. That's why we use long adjective structure. So it says her bracelet is more valuable than mine. Okay, so you have to complete the rest of them. You have to complete number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, and the last exercise, exercise 10.7. Write inside the chart the comparative form of the following adjectives. Now, in this part, we have the adjectives. We have 15 different adjectives. Now, in the next blank space, we have to complete what would be the right option if we change it into comparative word. For example, thick, it's short, thicker than; young, younger than; light, lighter than; short, shorter than; and soon, sooner than. Okay, so please, you have to complete the rest. I'm going to repeat it again: thick, thicker than; young, younger than; light, lighter than; short, shorter than; soon, sooner than. Okay, so please, when you finish to complete exercises from the color part and the exercises from your workbook, please take some photos and then you have to send it to a teacher. That's all. Thank you.